Good morning and welcome to WishwaTalks. My name is Trishan and I thank you all for attending today's event. For those of you who have attended a WishwaTalk before, a warm welcome back. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, here's a little bit about us. WishwaTalks is a space to expand the horizons of your mind. Every webinar, we call experts from different domains to discuss and examine opinions, issues, problems, and perspectives. Each webinar is an interactive session where we walk away with more respect for each other and a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. If you miss a session, please visit our website or YouTube channel for a full library of past Vishwa Talks on interesting topics. Today on Vishwa Talks, our speakers are Ms. Gayatri Uplapati, Ms. Teja Kishore, and Ms. Viveka Verma from Roshni Art Workshops team, Roshni Counseling Center, and they will lead us through the session in just a few moments. Our first speaker, Ms. Gayatri Uplapati, is an exceptional counseling psychologist and trainer from Roshni Counseling. With over 15 years of experience, she has been a guiding light for countless individuals, helping them overcome challenges and discover their true potential in areas ranging from mental health to career counseling. Our second speaker, Ms. Teja Kishore, a former lead financial analyst and trainer at Wipro, who is now a passionate art-based practitioner. She has a strong background in finance and has showcased her creative talents through various art forms, including miniatures, decoupage, hoop art, and lipin art. Our third speaker, Ms. Viveka Verma, is a talented mixed media artist with a passion for mandala art and various Indian art forms like Madhubani, Kalamkari, Pitchwai, and Varli. With over 3 years of expertise in mandala art and other art forms, she creates fusion artworks, watercolor, and acrylic paintings, and hosts art workshops, all while being a full-time mom. Her art is a creative expression and sanctuary. Let's welcome them with enthusiasm and gratitude for sharing their valuable insights with us today. Before we get started, I would like to inform our audience that our founder, Ms. Shrivani Mullapuri, will be initiating the Q&A session with the speakers after our main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat or use the raise hand tool in the reactions button below, and we will allow you to ask your question in person. I request everyone to turn on your webcam for the interactive part of the webinar. Now, without further ado, I invite our speakers to begin today's Vishwa Talks. Ms. Karna.
Good morning,
Yeah,
everyone.
Thank you for the introduction.
Good luck.
Thank you, Trishan.
Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So as you all know that this session is going to be about detangling thoughts and emotions. I think all three of us, the speakers for today, believe in having an interactive conversation or interactive session, because that's when it helps you and it helps us also. You know, learning is always two ways. So we are here to learn from you and probably teach you a little, and then probably you can also learn from us and help us learn from you as well. So it helps if you are as interactive as possible. The only suggestion that we have, or the only request that we have, is please put your questions in the chat box as and when you have, and we will address them either through the session. Sometimes if I feel or if they feel that it is relevant, then mostly we would address them towards the end of the session so that the flow doesn't get disturbed. All right. So we are here to start. So I think the first question that I would want to ask our audience is, what did you understand the moment you saw detangling thoughts and emotions? What came to your mind? You can leave your answers in the chat box, or you can actually turn on your videos and speak also. Up to you. Understanding yourself more, removing bad thoughts. Not all thoughts are emotions, okay? Sorting emotions. Okay. Sorting and managing thoughts. Personally, I mix them both. Regulating emotions. Wonderful. Healing trauma. Excellent. Keeping you cool. All right. So we are starting with our session. Keep the spirit on. Please leave the messages like this only. All of them would be addressed. We will start off with an activity which will be shown by Viveka and Teja. The request here is ideally we do these workshops for about 2 hours in an offline platform. But because we are bringing it for or on a 40 minutes timeline, so we kind of show activities so that they make you think. And then you please come back to this program repeatedly, like, do watch the program on the link that will be shared with you repeatedly, and keep doing the activities and listen to the session as well. And that's when it makes more sense to you. So before I start, I have an example with which we will show the activity also. So the situational example that we picked up here is a parent-teacher meeting, and the teacher is telling the parent or the mother especially, just the mother, because the mother attended the PTM. The father was away with a meeting, office meeting. So it's the mother who's attending the parent-teacher meeting. And the teacher kind of complained about the child, that the child is restless, doesn't sit in a place, disturbs the class, and having poor grades continuously, doesn't listen to any instructions, is not changing himself. So I think we need to have a one-on-one, or we can see how we can improve the child. I would like to meet both you and your husband. So this is what the teacher said, so that let's get together and work on your child so that he becomes more attentive and less restless in the class. Now, if you put yourself in the mother's place, what would your thoughts be and what would your emotions be? Would anyone want to answer this question? Like, if you are in the mother's place, when the teacher is actually talking about your child not doing well academically and behaviorally, and talking only bad about the child, what would you as a mother go through on an emotional level, at a thought level? Who would want to answer this? Feel defeated. Excellent. Bang on, bullseye. Yes. Shocked, sad, hurt. I would like to know my child aspect also. Excellent. We'll take the feedback and try to work on it. Very difficult, though. Initially, we will feel emotional. Feel guilty. Anxiety. Okay. Okay. I am not doing enough for my child. And Parminderji, thank you for joining us again. I think I saw you in the last session also. Thank you so much for joining us. Should work on how to bring him better. Wow. Okay. I think stay there on these thoughts and emotions. See, why I ask this question is, whenever we go through an overwhelming experience in life, whenever we go through an emotional experience, it doesn't have to be an overwhelming experience, but even a simple emotional experience also, our thoughts and emotions don't come separately. Like, thought doesn't say that I am thought and here I am, I come, and then emotion says, I am emotion and here I am, I'm coming. We all have both thoughts and emotions clubbed in together. They are never separated. They come together. And if you actually see your responses, you can actually see it there. Like, few of you are writing the thoughts, few of you are writing the emotions. So it's a combination of emotions and thoughts, right? So this is exactly what I wanted to indicate before we start the activity. So whenever we are going through an experience or through an emotional experience triggered by a situation or by a person, here it's the teacher who got triggered, the mother got triggered, who's the observer, the child. So whenever a situation triggers emotions in me, it's actually a combination of emotions and thoughts that come together. Let's head start with the activity. Teja and Viveka, over to you. So I'll keep explaining why we are doing the activity, and they'll show you the activity.
Yes, thanks, Gayatri. I think my screen is visible. Cool.
Trishant, can you highlight Viveka's and Teja's screen? You can take me off. I'm not
Only the
required.
activities. Yeah.
Just the activities.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Roshan.
Trishant, you can take me off. My voiceover is enough. Let the activities be shown visibly. Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Yes, Teja, you can start off.
Okay. I'll start with the tangling.
So Teja is using a cardboard and the pins. She made a outline of a body and mind, and she's started tangling them with the threads or strings.
Yeah. You can triangle randomly. So, as per Gayatri's instruction.
Okay, the reason why
I'm triangling all over my body because the emotion.
Okay, Teja, I'll take over the voiceover. Why are we tangling the thread is the whole purpose is already stated to you. Like whenever we are going through an experience or whenever a situation or a person triggers us, it's actually the body and mind reacting at the same time. It's never individually. Unfortunately, what happens with us is we focus on the thought more and we do not really focus on what's happening inside our body or what are the changes that happen in our body. Like, for example, the same example, parent-teacher meeting. The mother must have felt hurt. So the body actually will react. When it is hurt, you might feel like crying. There is that deep sadness downwards, the deep sadness down in your body. It is tangled. The thought here could be, she's telling me that I'm a bad mother. That's the thought, which is triggering the emotion. So that is why we have come up with this activity to make you understand that each time you actually experience an emotion, it's not just an emotion, it comes along with a thought. So keep this in your framework and then watch the activity that Teja is doing. I'll give the relevance again later. So I want you to like kind of observe in silence.
Yeah. So the other video is showing like if you don't have a cardboard or the pins with you, you can actually take a paper like this, draw the body outline, and start sticking threads like this in a crisscross manner, just like in my video. You can use the simple threads or the threads available at your home and start sticking it with a glue.
Just hold on. I think Trishant, they're sending messages in the chat that the video is not visible.
Sorry.
Nothing on the screen. Video is not visible.
I can see the video.
Okay, there are a few participants who are saying I can see it. I can see it too. Okay, Trishant, just take me off the spotlight. Just highlight on their two videos.
And here I've used different colors of threads just to represent that different kind of emotions that we go through. Just a couple of colors.
Akhilesh, kindly remove all the spotlights except for the activity screens. And I request all participants to pin the activity screen so that it stays while the voice is going on.
And you can also, apart from using a cardboard and pens, you can also use a NDF board or a wood board and use a nails. This is called a string art. Even you can try using this.
So we are showing different ways in which you can use the thread activity to build the relevance in your mind that every time we are experiencing an emotion, we are actually clubbing the thought and the emotion. We are tangling the emotion and the thought. We are not consciously doing it, but it happens at a very subconscious level. So the thought and the emotions are all tangled together. In the situation which was depicted to you, the thoughts could be the mother can feel victimized. She might feel that she's a bad parent, a neglecting parent. Is the teacher suspecting my home environment, that it is not healthy for a child? I'm angry with my spouse for missing the meeting and I have to listen to all of this. I wish he or she was here, whoever is missing. It's so difficult to be a parent. And if you actually remember the messages that you guys have left in the chat box, someone has written, I feel defeated. So we are actually seeing it as success and failure. So one situation made me feel defeated. It's a judgment, right? It's a judgment that I'm making about myself. So tangled. This is tangled with the emotion. Obviously, when I feel defeated, what would be the emotion? I will feel so disappointed. I would feel dejected. I would feel hurt. I would feel upset and probably anxious too. So one thought can actually trigger multiple emotions in your heart, and the experience looks as though it's just beyond your control. So this is how the thought and emotions are actually tangled. And this is how an emotional experience comes across as very, very overwhelming for an individual to handle. We often say things like, it is so overwhelming, it is so beyond control, I feel so helpless. Do we use such phrases? Yes or no in life? Do we use such phrases? It is so overwhelming. It is so difficult. Life is so unfair. Why do I have to go through all of this? Yes. So this is how thoughts and emotions are tangled. And most of the time, something that is supposed to end very, very quickly gets extended only because of our thought. Okay. So I'll give you the relevance of detangling, or the relevance of the 90-second rule that I've actually spoken about in the 1-minute video for this program as a promo. We will get into it. But what you really need to understand is you need to come back to this session again and again, listen to my voice and do the activity again and again, because that's when you would be benefited completely in handling your thoughts and emotions as well, right? So it's not a one-time listening, it has to be a multiple listening. So over to the presentation. Over to the presentation. I can have the PPT back.
Yeah, Vivekama. Could you please share the screen again?
Yeah, I did. Is it visible?
Not yet. Not yet again.
Is it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So coming back to the same example, the thoughts, the mother felt victimized, felt she was a bad parent. At least that's what the teacher was trying to communicate, because according to her, the child is not good or not performing well. She is a neglecting parent. The home environment is not child-centric, so the child is not thriving. Angry with her spouse for missing on the meeting and she had to take it alone. Difficult to be a parent, right? The emotions that a parent or that the mother would go through in this situation is hurt, discomfort, embarrassed, shame, misunderstood, guilt, blamed, overwhelming, restlessness. Now, here I want to ask a question to our audience. How many of you would use, let's go with the same situation. How many of you would use words like overwhelming, guilty? I feel so guilty. I feel so judged. I feel so restless. How many of you use words like overwhelming, guilty?
Me too.
And how many of you use words like I'm hurt? I feel a little discomfort. Okay. Hurt, yes. The others are for guilt and overwhelm, right? Hurt, very good. I feel hurt. Overwhelming, yes. Okay. Here is a tip. The first way to detangle your thought and emotion, as I already said, for those of you who said engaging is becoming difficult, for those of you get the concept, our thoughts and emotions always come together. They never come separately. So whenever I'm going through an experience or an emotional experience, it's always the emotions and thoughts that come together. That is the basic structure of the session. Now, having said that, I've listed a multiple emotions that a person goes through or that the mother is going through right now. So few of you said I would use words like overwhelming, guilt, etc. Some of you said I would go with hurt. There is a whole lot of difference in the kind of emotional experience that we have based on the words that we use to describe our emotions. If someone says I'm hurt, the intensity of emotional experience is going to be simple for them, which means they still feel emotional, but then the intensity is not going to be so high. But the moment I use words like I feel so guilty, guilt is an extreme emotion. So I have to be very careful when I use the word guilt, right? So for this experience, the appropriate words that you need to use is hurt, discomfort, embarrassed. I feel misunderstood. She could have allowed me to speak. I feel a little restless. The moment I start using words like guilt, blamed, overwhelmed, shame, these are extreme emotions. The experience that the mother is going through right now doesn't call for this. It's becoming very, very personal, and I'm using high-end words. So I have to have an emotional vocabulary which simplifies my emotional experience. As in, I need to have vocabulary wherein I can describe my emotions to myself in a very simple manner. Like, for example, instead of saying depressed, I say I am sad. Instead of saying I feel dejected, I feel misunderstood. So there is a way in which we need to talk to ourselves, and you'll have to keep the words as simple as possible to kind of bring down the overall experience and also to help you detangle between the thought and emotion. Shall we move on? We have one more activity. I guess Teja will take over. Trishant, again, take the spotlight off me just on Teja's video.
Gayatri, I am doing it.
Oh, sure. On Viveka's video, please. I'm sorry for that.
Akhilesh, please spotlight Viveka ma'am's second device. Viveka ma'am, you can stop sharing the screen. Okay, I'll do that. I hope everyone can see the container with a cold drink, a bottle in it. Thank you so
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Gayatri, you can do the voiceover, please.
Yeah. So we are actually going to show you an activity with the Coke bottle. That's a Coke bottle. And we are going to do a small science experiment here. So first see the experiment and then I'll build the relevance to the session. Like how is this relevant to the session? So both Viveka and Teja are going to add a Mentos tablet to the Coke in the bottle and see what happens. You can also predict what might happen. So that's the fizz. And Teja quickly kind of put the cap. Viveka, I love the fizz to come out a little. I want to see the fizz a little more.
Sorry, I've already stopped it because it overflowed.
You can put one more possible. I would want to see the little fizz some more. Can't see the video again.
Oh. It has settled down now.
Okay, done.
Teja,
So
you have
here,
one more?
I'm just trying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see.
there. I'm all right. What? Okay. Why did we do this? Is the bottle here is us, which is you. Like if for me, if you ask me, the bottle is Gayatri. The fizz is my thoughts and emotions, which when shaken, that's how it comes out. The Mentos tablet is people around me who trigger me, or the situations which kind of trigger me. And we can have as many Mentos in life as possible, right? Like people do trigger us, situations do trigger us. Yes? Yes, you all agree? Agree, right? So always remember, people can trigger us, situations can trigger us, but we can choose to react and respond. Whether we want to react or respond is always our choice. We can't control others, but we can definitely control ourselves. And that's the reason why we brought this activity into the webinar today. It was challenging for us to kind of show it also. For an offline session, it would have been very easy for us. But to bring it to on an online platform, there are a lot of challenges. So I'm again explaining the activity. Please use it time and again, because these kind of examples, practical examples, will help you understand that it is not so easy to deal with emotions and thoughts. It's the fizz. If you remember, Teja said, when I asked Teja, I would want to see the fizz a little more. Teja said, because it's overflowing, I put the cap, Gayatri. Yes or no? So we don't want to deal with the fizz. We don't want to see the fizz so much because it all looks very messy. So when thoughts and emotions come together, it is very messy. It's not an easy thing to clarify them. But the simple logic here is the 90-second rule. So we'll see what the 90-second rule is. Viveka will start screen sharing and shift to the PowerPoint.
Shall I go to the next one, Gayatri?
Yeah, you can stay here. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, the Coke bottle. All right, Coke bottle.
Yeah.
All right. So here, Inside the Coke and the fizz is our thoughts and emotions. Outside, which is the bottle shape, or the bottle, is me. Like I will use my name. It is Gayatri. Fizz is thoughts and emotions. And the cap is 90-second rule. So what exactly is 90-second rule? According to Jill Taylor, a Harvard-based brain scientist, she actually researched this technique due to her own personal story. She was a brain scientist. She had a stroke, a stroke in the brain again. What an irony, a brain scientist, a stroke in the brain again. So she came up with this 90-second rule after a research on her own life, because she had to battle this stroke to the brain, right? It wasn't easy for her. There were a lot of emotions that she had to go through. And she had to bring back her life on track, for which she had to research emotions. That's when she came up with this rule, and she came up with this beautiful concept wherein she differentiated between the body's reaction to an emotion and the mind's reaction to an emotion. So when we all feel anxious or sad, do we experience something at the body level, guys? Like when I am anxious, I feel that butterflies in my stomach. There is that heaviness in the chest. There is that dryness of mouth. And sometimes for me, when I go anxious, I fumble for words. I go blank at times. There is that overall restlessness, and there's that unsettling thing in the mind. Yes, few people are answering. Sweating. Yes, beautiful. Perspiration. I feel my hands and legs are trembling, and I'm going weak in the legs, right? So these are all physical reactions of an emotion, which means anxiety is the emotion, and body is reacting in these ways. Okay. Similarly, the mind also reacts to an emotion. How? Through different thought experiences. Oh, this person always says I am lazy. This person is always very judgmental about me. He or she always has mean things to tell about me. So I'm bringing the past, right? Like whatever has happened in the past, the mind is bringing back all the thoughts. Sometimes we travel in the future, and the mind brings back all the fears that we have to foresee, or probably all the fears that we have to overcome. Yes. So what we really need to understand is, how do I use this 90-second rule? So Dr. Jill Taylor says, divide the brain and the body, separate them. Deal with the body first, then the mind. Deal with the body first, then the mind. But what we all do, we kind of get lost in the thoughts. We kind of think how that person has triggered us, how that situation was so difficult to handle. We try to write so many special things about the story. We personalize our story. Oh, my life is like this. Everybody is having excellent life. A client at 31 says, I am not married, Gayatri. Everyone else at my age is married. Everyone is settled. Do you know how it feels? Now I'm writing a story about me at 31 and how it is so special to me. What is it that you're supposed to do? Start dealing with your body first. So whenever you feel that you're not married at 31, and there is a lot of pressure, of course, society, parents, pressure on parents as well to get you married, come back to the bodily reactions. Your body is the first one which is reacting. It feels anxious. There's that knots in the stomach. Yes. So be with your body first, because there is that simple logic. I'll tell you what. When we see a lion, what happens? We would want to run away, right? When we see a lion, what happens? What happens to us?
We run away.
Right. I would instantly run away. I don't know how quickly I would manage that, but instant thing is flee, right? So often we engage in either a fight or a flight. So when a body experiences a threat, when a mind detects a threat, it tells the body, listen, there is a threat. So we need to be prepared, right? So when we see a threat in the external environment, we either want to fly or we either want to fight based on the threat. Okay. As Pooja is saying, I would enjoy seeing lion in the safari. Yes, it's not a threat there because you're in a protected environment. You enjoy it, right? But when you actually see a lion outside where you're alone, then it becomes a threat. Then I would want to flee. I don't know how often will I be able to manage to fly away. That's again a mystery, but still I would want to fly away, right? as quickly as possible escape from the situation. So the point here is coming back to the concept. Stay with me and stop. Please stop the messages in the chat and stay with me. Listen to me carefully because I'm giving away the concept. It's important. So when I am experiencing an emotion, I need to be with my body, which is preparing me for a fight or a flight. If it is a real threat, I will use up all the chemicals. I will run away from the situation or I'll fight in the situation. So all the chemicals that are produced in the body are used up, right? But when a mind is creating a threat, I need to speak today. Right now, I'm speaking to you. Oh my God, Gayatri, I don't think I can do it. They are judging me. What if I fumble? What if you make mistake? What if you can't give this concept clearly? What if you don't do justice to Dr. Jill Taylor's research? It's a wonderful research. These are all the threats that my mind can create. Is it a real threat? No, it's an imaginary threat. But the body still creates the same chemicals. The body still produces the same chemicals because that's what it knows about, right? So where all these chemicals will disappear, will they disappear? I'm not using them. I'm sitting in my chair. My mind is creating threat after threat. My body is reacting. And all the chemicals which are produced in my body for fight or flight are unused and are getting deposited in my body. Am I not abusing my body? When I am being anxious for years together, am I not abusing my body? So I should support my body first. So Dr. Jill Taylor says, reverse the technique. You've been struggling to fight your mind off. Instead, stay with your body and make the experience workable for you. Stay with your body because the body settles just in 90 seconds. All the chemicals produced, all the bodily reactions, like I'm feeling weak in the legs, the butterflies in the stomach, the heaviness in the chest. If the thought doesn't fuel these emotions, the bodily reactions will settle down in just about 90 seconds. What a beauty. When the body settles down, we are at a much better space and shape to handle with our thoughts. We can do it later. But for years together, not just for you, even for me, for years together, we've been trying to calm ourselves through working on our thoughts. Stay positive, think positive. No, you don't have to. It's not that easy. So put it aside. Stay with your body. Stay with your emotion. Keep telling yourself in simpler terms. Instead of saying, I am depressed, I am sad, I don't feel good about it. There's a difference. I'm saying I'm depressed. I'm saying I feel sad. I feel bad about it. I'm not okay with it, right? Yes or no? So when you are actually staying with your physical reaction for the first 90 seconds, you're allowing the body to settle down. Ma'am, what should be the alternative for I feel insulted and I feel shame? I feel insulted. Guys, nobody can make you feel insulted if you don't allow. That's the answer. So if I'm getting hurt, if I'm feeling insulted because of the other person, then I need to sit with myself. Why am I getting hurt? Because insult actually comes from a hurt space. So instead of saying I'm insulted, I am hurt. And what about that person's behavior? Or what about me is hurting me? Because sometimes insult can trigger your insecurities also. So you need to sit with yourself and you need to understand what about that person is hurting you. So I am hurt is an alternative. How to deal with feeling overwhelmed? That's what I'm saying. The first step is please use milder terms. Instead of overwhelmed, say I don't feel good. Instead of saying I'm depressed, say I am not feeling okay. I am feeling sad. Something is not okay with me today. I'm not liking what is happening to me. So if you actually see the way I'm talking, I'm repeatedly using I am not okay with what I am doing today. I'm not okay with what is happening to me today. I feel sad. I feel low. I'm using different ways of telling myself that I'm sad, but I'm not using the word depressed. This is important, guys. This is very, very important because this plays a very important role in the kind of emotional environment that you have. If for every example, if I start using words like overwhelming, anxious, I feel so defeated, insulted, hurt, shame, guilt, then every experience that you go through on a daily basis becomes very hard for you. And that is how we write a special story about ourselves. So that has to be limited. So first, tip number one, stay with your body, be in line with your body, understand what your body is going through, let it calm down first. We can deal with the mind later. The mind can wait, the thought can wait, right? Shall we move on?
Yes, Gayatri.
Okay, so we are actually answering all your questions here. How to detangle? What we did earlier, like the activity that Teja and Viveka did, we have tangled thoughts and emotions. They were cross-stitching, like, from one nail on this side to nail on that side. They were weaving the thread to tell you that we kind of tangle the thoughts and emotions by ourselves only. Like in the last example, the teacher spoke to the mother for about 15 minutes and said that we need to work on your child. How will the mother detangle the whole experience? She will tell herself the whole day or probably whole week that I was told that I am a bad mother. And then she goes and tells her husband, we were told that we are bad parents. Repetition of the same story. Probably the next day, she'll call up her mother and say, you know what happened yesterday? This is what the teacher told me. Repetition of the same experience. Again, I'm telling repeatedly that I was told I'm a bad mother. The teacher spoke for about 15 minutes. But how much am I repeating in my own mind through repeatedly telling other people? Multiple times. So am I allowing my body to settle down? No, the mind is not allowing the body to settle down. So each time I repeat the story, my body gets triggered again and again. So I'll start feeling anxious again. I'll start feeling bad again. I'll start feeling hurt again. And my body feels unsettled. That's how we prolong our emotional experiences. So the tip here is, whenever someone triggers you, the Mentos and the Coke, whenever someone is putting Mentos into your body, which is the bottle, let the fizz come out. Don't stop it. Come back home. If you want to talk about the teacher, write it down on a paper. If you want to probably scold the teacher for not giving you an opportunity to speak up, bring up your anger, hurt, sadness completely on paper without a filter, but only do it with yourself. Don't repeat the same story with multiple people because they will add their own perspective into your experience, another Mentos and another fizz. So this is how we don't allow our emotions to settle down. So the tip number 2 here is sit with yourself, talk to yourself, write it down, because that's when you're putting the cap. You're not allowing the other people to add another tablet into your Coke bottle, right? We are starting with another example here, or probably if anyone wants to talk about their example, we can use that also because there are a lot of messages in the chat box I can see. I'm going with my own example. This time the situation example is, had a conflict with a colleague, disagreed with me. So I had a conflict with a colleague of mine at workplace. He or she disagreed with me. I felt I had an important point to make, but however, he or she disagreed with me. What do you think the thoughts would be? In this kind of a situation, what do you think the thoughts would be? What do you think? First, the thoughts. What do you think the thoughts would be? Anger. Okay. Anger is an emotion. Pain is an emotion. Excellent. Hurt is an emotion. Frustration. Initially, stress, frustration, take me for granted. They have taken me for granted. It's a thought. So if you actually see, it's a combination. See how your thought process is working right now. Whenever I'm asking thoughts and emotions, they're coming together. They have taken me for granted is a thought. Irritation is an emotion. So when someone triggers you, it's actually emotion and thought coming together. No appreciation, don't want to work. That's like a conclusion from one situation, or probably from my past experiences. Urge to argue, very much with you. I always have the urge to argue and make my point win. Yes. So all of these are thoughts and emotions together, right? So let's come back to the example. Now here, few of the thoughts I've put together is, my communication skill is so poor. I wasn't able to communicate what I wanted. Probably that's why he didn't get it or she didn't get it. I was so passive. Like, how could I allow that other person to kind of disagree with me and walk away from the situation? I should have asked him to like stay and listen to me. I was so passive. I don't know how to put my point forward. They have taken me for granted. I feel so attacked. Right? The emotions in this situation could be stressed, disrespected, insulted, unheard, very mean, silenced, disgusting. And how my body reacts, I have a headache and I feel so weak and tired at the end of the day when I return back home. Right? Let's use this example to give as many tips as possible to you guys. So how do you think you can put the 90-second rule to use now? Now, what should you work on first? What should you work on first? Jill Taylor said body first and then mind. So what should I stay with first? The emotions? What are the words that you need to use? What are the words that I need to use? Can I use words like disgusting? Can I use words like disgusting? Wow, I feel low. Excellent.
Low.
Beautiful. In a milder term, I'm redefining my emotional experiences. I'm not using heavy words. I'm not using heavy words. I need to sleep. Wonderful. I have a headache. I need to do something. Probably I need a hot cup of tea. I have a splitting headache. I need to handle that first. I need to meditate. I wouldn't pick this up because it wouldn't work in this kind of a scenario immediately. Calming myself, yes, but I would still say, I just want to explain. Can the messages on the chat be on hold for some time? Why am I not taking responses like stay calm, meditate? Because this is the only reason why we are so emotional as individuals. You know why? Because in our culture, when we are raised, emotions are always portrayed as bad, you know, especially the negative emotions, like anger, sad, crying. We are always told not to overreact. We are always told stay calm. We're always told, why are you crying so much? If it is a boy, probably we'll tell them, why are you crying like a girl? So always our emotions are curbed, guys. We are always told that you need to control your emotions. So the change in perspective needed here is all emotions need an expression. The fizz needs to come out. Why did we do the experiment where we allowed the fizz to come out and then we put the cap? Do you remember in the experiment, I allowed the fizz to come out and then I put the cap. So emotion needs an outlet. So I can't say I need to stay calm, I need to walk, I need to meditate. No, these are regular things that you're listening from people who are telling you to work on your emotions, to curb your emotions. You don't need to. You don't need to suppress your emotions. You don't need to curb your emotions. You need to allow them to come out first. And that's when they are easy to settle down. The more you try to like suppress them, the more it becomes difficult for you to handle. So first thing is, stay tuned with that emotion. Describe that emotional experience to you again and again. Don't go away from that emotional experience. I feel stressed. I feel unheard. I feel my voice was not given a hearing, was not heard. I was silenced. Right? So I'm putting the same experience in milder terms. Oh, how disgusting can he be or can she be? How disrespectful. I will leave the job immediately. I will make my whole experience just about that situation. Got it? So we need to address the emotion, stay tuned with that emotion and describe that emotion in milder terms for the first 90 seconds. That's all. For the first 90 seconds. The fizz will settle down in just about 90 seconds. Can't we give ourselves that 90 seconds? Should we talk about calming ourselves down, shutting ourselves up, meditating in first 90 seconds itself? No. We are coming from a culture where we are told work on your emotions immediately. We don't have to. Allow them to just come out. If you think people don't listen to you, or I don't have an environment where I can express, because this would be our first challenge that most clients for me say, for me kind of, express, then put it on a paper, crumple it, throw it in a dustbin. Don't read it again. You don't have to. You don't have to. Put it on a paper, unfiltered. It's okay to kind of bring it out in your own words. Please don't shy away from using certain words. You have all that anger, put it down on paper. Use simpler terms, subtler terms, bring everything out, crush it, put it into a dustbin. The fist settles down in the first 90 seconds. That's how I start the detangling process. How do I detangle my thought? My thought is not going to stay calm because it says, in the past also this person, this colleague of yours reacted like this. He doesn't respect you. For some reason, you're not able to earn respect at work. I think your skill is not being communicated. There is a gap. Why do you think people are disrespecting you so often? Are you really worth of this job? Are you worthy enough? Did you ask yourself? This is what thought does to you. It brings in the past. It brings in the past. It brings in the future fears. It mixes up everything. It tangles everything, knots everything, and everything becomes such a huge thing for us. So first stay with the emotion, then come to the thought. What do I do with the thought? Because I think most of you were asking me this. After I do with the emotions, done with the emotions, the first 90 seconds is done. The physical reactions settle down. Then what should I do? Then comes the thought. You know what you have to do? All the thoughts that tell you that either you are not correct or the other person is not correct or the situation is not correct, make a note of all the thoughts, but don't address them then. Make a note of all the thoughts, don't address them then. You know what this does? It stops the analysis paralysis in our minds. We are raised in culture where we are all people pleasers. I think majority of us, including me, are people pleasers. We want people to like us. We want people to appreciate us. We want people to reward us. We want people to like us basically, right? And you know where people pleasing started from? It started from parent pleasing. We started pleasing our parents first. So don't try to work on your thoughts as and when you have the experience. Write it down, then keep the little book away. Come back to that book after a day or two, not immediately. Your thought can wait. You know what you're doing to that thought? You're saying you are important to me, and that is why I have written it down. But you are not that important that I'm actually stopping my day activity and attending to you. I'm not interested in staying with you. You got to talk to your thought like this. Otherwise, most of the times, when we start addressing our thoughts then and there, it is called analysis paralysis. It cuts down your action. A person with excessive analysis of their thoughts is a person who's paralyzed. They themselves have paralyzed themselves. They can't act. So this is the another most important tip to handle your thought. Write down all your thoughts, but don't address it then. Tell your thought you're important. That's why I've written it down. I'll think about it, but not so much important that I stop all my day activity and cater to you. So you got to tell it to stop. Then the moment you start doing this repeatedly, the thought understands that I am becoming an unwelcome guest. I have to wait. So the thought learns to wait. It's just like the guest. As soon as the guest comes, I make the guests sit at home, serve them tea, coffee, everything, and every half an hour I'm giving something or the other to the guests. I'm welcoming the guest. Fair enough. I can once in a while. But I find doing it to everybody, a laundry person who's here to give me laundry, probably a postman who's here to deliver me something. If I'm catering to everybody as a guest, what about me? What about my time? What about my action? I move away from my action. And guys, always remember, when mental health issues take us over, we can't act. For years together, people don't show actions. And it is only action which can protect us from any kind of mental health issue. Where there is no action, we are falling prey to depression, anxiety, you name it. We are falling prey to it. So please repeatedly tell yourself, I have written the thoughts down. I will address them when I want to. But I will keep continuing with my action. So this is the end of example 2. Shall we move on?
Gayatri, shall we do the detangling?
Yes, we will move on.
Sure.
Prashant, again, spotlight on Viveka and Teja's video, and probably you can take me off from the spotlight and the PPT too.
I hope it's clear now.
Yes, Sushant.
Is everyone able to view the video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start the detangling by cutting the threads, knots. So I'm cutting the threads. Trust me, guys, this is so satisfying and it's fun.
Very relaxing to do this.
Yeah, do this activity. It's so fun when you cut the threads. Would like to do this as well. This one, when your heart is a lot of tangled, so you can cut. Yeah.
Okay, we are actually cutting whatever we have tangled, because as I already said, it is us who tangles our thoughts and emotions. The teacher or the colleague have actually spoken to us for a very brief time, but I carried that emotion for a very long time, and I tangled it with my thought of not being a good mother, or as a colleague, I felt disrespected. So if I continue this way, wherein I am triggering my thought, and my thought is in turn triggering my emotion or the bodily reaction, I will not allow the emotional experience to settle down. On the contrary, as the 90-second rule says, even if you don't do anything in the first 90 seconds, even if you don't think about anything, everything settles down on its own in just about 90 seconds. So I am going to detangle my thought and emotion, which is the detachment. I need to detach my body from my mind, and I'm going to allow my body to settle down. That's the objective of doing the detangling activity. We tangle the thread, we detangled it too, and we cut it off, right? The second sample that Teja showed, the heart which was tangled, and we cut it. Why do you think we showed heart and we kind of detangled it, or we cut it in the center, right in the center? You know why? Because every time we allow our emotions and thoughts to get tangled and make it very messy for us, it is our heart which suffers a lot. We feel a lot of resentment. There's a lot of anger towards others. We feel so disconnected. And ultimately, we feel disconnected with our own self, and we lose our happiness. How many of us are actually happy with our own selves? We don't need anybody to keep us happy. We don't need our spouses or children or colleagues or friends to keep us happy. How many of us can actually say that I am very happy with myself? This is what happens when we are not in tune with our emotions, with our thoughts, and how others are triggering us. When others are triggering us, it is the fizz. I need to sit with the fizz. I need to bring it out in open. I'm happy with myself. Thank you so much, Sukanya. Wonderful. So you can turn on your camera and you can just tell us how you keep yourself happy. Probably we all can learn. Okay. The best way to keep yourself happy away from the mentors. The mentors is people, situations, they keep triggering you. But only until that time when we are not okay with ourselves. The moment we work on ourselves, every time someone hurts me, instead of looking at that person, I'm turning inside myself and I'm understanding what is hurting me. And I'm telling that person, listen, the words that you're using is hurting me. The context in which you spoke, I got hurt. Can you be a little more mindful? At the same time, I'm telling myself that sometimes I can't correct people. At times I do voice out, but sometimes I can't correct them. So can we actually work on ourselves? Can we be a little more stronger? Can I understand how can I not get hurt? How can I put that cap instantly so that nobody can add mentors anymore? So we need to work on ourselves. If we are repeatedly getting triggered by people and by situations, then it is an indicator that we need to work on ourselves. Either to draw a boundary and tell the other person it is enough, or to tell ourselves that there are certain areas that we need to work upon. Think about it, guys. Can we move on to the next slide? Presentation, please.
Yeah, Gayatri, I think Sukanya wants to talk. She's saying she's unable to unmute her.
Oh, okay. I think Prishant has to unmute her.
Raise your hand, please. It will become easier for us to unmute you.
Yeah, am I audible? Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. So I have tried this, for every situation or any encounter. I would ask myself, is it going to impact me in next 1 month or next 1 year or next 5 years? I would go through the emotion certainly because it will be hurting. But when I start really evaluating it for quite some time, and I make sure that it doesn't go beyond 24 hours. So I work on the pros and cons. I keep asking myself. I really work on myself like that. I write it down, and then once it is over, then it's out of my system.
Excellent, Sukanya. Actually, most of us refuse to write it down. I think in chat box also someone was asking, what if I don't have a paper and pen? See, it is a conscious effort. Right?
And I also talk to myself. I look into the mirror. I stay alone. I vent it out when I'm alone. So I talk it out. And I have a feeling that I'm expressing this to this person, whatever goes in my mind. The moment it becomes more verbal, I think it is out of my system and it is gone out. So this really, really helps me a lot. Because holding it here, really hurts. But when it is expressed out in the air, like, alone, I feel that I have spoken this out to the person. So I've conveyed it and it is out of my system. So it becomes really very light after that.
Excellent. Very true. I think you've given the complete logic and structure also, the way you've put it, Sukanya, very well put. The first thing is you need to sit with yourself. I think that's the most important part because of the way we are raised or, the way we are brought up, we have this tendency to running towards someone else the moment we have an emotional experience. We want to either talk it out to a friend or to parents or to spouses. We just want to instantly to, reach out and talk to someone. But the first thing that you have to do is sit with yourself, because the moment you're sitting with yourself, you're telling the brain or the mind that, listen, I am there. We can handle it together. It is not, an overwhelming experience where we need to like run to someone. First, let's try. Let's sit with ourselves. Let's try it out. You're building a team there with the mind. The moment you run away to someone else and you're sharing your experience, you're actually telling the mind that, listen, you can't handle the situation. Okay. It is beyond our control. We need someone's intervention to help you and me out. So where will the mind pick up the power from? You're deflating your own balloon. The balloon is the mind here. So that is why even in therapy, we time and again tell clients, please sit with yourself and write it down. Please don't expect your spouses to help you out, to listen to you, to understand your story. Or please don't expect your friends to understand your story. You need to understand your story first. That's where strength flows in. And the moment you rewrite your story or the moment you put it on paper, there's a logic there. There's a logic behind why people ask you or why therapists ask you to write you down. Because when I say or ask my mind to come back into the now, my mind will not listen to it because I have been doing it over a period of time. Like I'm so disturbed with my thoughts and I've been running to people for so long. Suddenly, when I ask the mind to come back into the now, the mind will not listen. So when you start writing it down, there is an inbuilt physiological mechanism. The hand can't write at the pace at which the mind thinks. The mind thinks at a rapid pace. The hand can't catch up to it. So the hand sends a signal. Listen, there is pain. I can't write so quickly. Can you slow down? The mind instantly listens because it's the mechanism, right? Absolutely, right? That's the logic. So when you actually put it down on paper, hand says, slow down, slow down, slow down. I'm doing it, but slow down, slow down. Continuous signal, slow down. It slows down. It comes on paper. When it is all in my mind, it is so messy. It's muddled up. It's cluttered. When it's on paper, I can see it. I can read what I'm telling myself. Sometimes I use such harsh words. Like I feel defeated. This is what I tell myself. I will be shocked to see it on paper. If I'm seeing it repeatedly, I need to change the way I talk to myself. And that's where the clarity comes in. And you had Sukanya who kind of said that the moment it's out on the paper, I'm half settled, half the battle is done. So that's the tip, guys. You have to use practical tips like this. And always remember, I think I've been in this field for the last 15 years. Keep it as simple as possible. Don't just complicate things. The kind of words that you use, I am depressed, I feel sad. It's just one incident. I had 24 hours and I'm triggered by one incident. Is it that important? I had a lot of other incidents. I bring out my emotions. I'll probably yell at that person on paper. How dare you say something like this? How dare you do this to me? Probably I'll bring it on paper. I will crumple, put it in the dustbin. My emotions are sorted. They are expressed. The fizz came out. It needed that outlet. I gave the outlet. I will write a second draft again. This time the thoughts come out much more clearly because the cloud of emotions is like defogged, right? I defogged it. I removed the cloud. The thoughts are much more clear. Bring them on paper. Understand your own insecurities. Like, why is that other person able to trigger me so much? Why is that situation triggering me so much? How can I handle it better? Come on, I have handled so many things in life. Why not this? The attitude comes up and then you want to challenge yourself or comfort yourself. You need to play both the roles and you're a team. You need to tell your mind, you've got the power. We will do it together. We are a team. The body, mind, and me are a team. If I have to be healthy, my body has to be healthy and my mind has to be healthy. If I want to help my body, years of anxiety, people have gastrointestinal issues. They drop at my clinic. They say, madam, I don't know. I don't understand why am I having IBS since so many years. Turns out the person has been having anxiety since so long. There's no other physical condition. The doctors have ruled out any organic cause for IBS. That's when they come to me. You've been triggering your body. Your mind has been triggering your body so much that it has become so reactive, that it has suffered so much, resulted in IBS or resulted in gastrointestinal issues, the gut issues. So imagine how you're actually abusing the body. Stay with the body, listen to it, understand it, empathize with it. Let the mind also join you. Tell the mind, listen, I will come to you. You are important to me. I'm writing down all the thoughts. It's not that I don't want to address. I will come to you. but let's stay with the body. It's feeling, it's trembling, the heart is heavy, or the heart is racing. Let's be with the body first. So become a team. That's another main tip of handling your situations. We are going to close in next 5 minutes. We are almost done with the session. Teja and Viveka, just scroll through the journal examples, and I think we are done. We'll need just 5 minutes. Because it's an art-based workshop, we are just showing samples of journaling. Journaling is basically writing down your thoughts.
If you need time to complete the session, we'll make a proper request to people if they would like to continue. Don't try to crush the whole thing into 5 minutes. If you need more time, we'll make a request.
Done. Probably I'll take that. Let's go with that.
How much time will you need?
We will need 5 minutes for team affirmation, and journaling another 10 minutes. So 15 minutes is all I need.
I think your audience is already answering. Please continue.
How sweet. Thank you so much. See, this is my self-doubt. I instantly said 5 minutes because I wanted to understand that, your time needs to be respected. And I've been given a suggestion. I accepted it. So this is how it works, guys. It's about trying to sort your emotions, keep them separate, and keep the thoughts separate. Okay, we'll quickly go on. Viveka, just let's finish team affirmations also, because we've been given the time. Thank you. So I said me, body, and mind. Why am I talking about this team? Because most of the times my clinical experience has shown me that most of the clients talk as though, their mind is not in their control or their mind is ruling them. I wish my mind listened to me. Always remember, your mind can be your friend. Your mind can be your enemy too. It has the capacity to be both. And it is us who will feed it, So if I'm feeding the friend every day, I am giving it power that, you've been so friendly with me, or you've been helping me out so much. It is only because of you I was able to do so many things. I did an excellent presentation yesterday. It's because of you, because of your ideas. So I'm elevating the friend side in the mind. The balloon goes bigger. If I'm feeding or filling air into the enemy side, it goes bigger. So which one do you want? The choice is yours. So always treat your mind and body and you as a team. You have a team within. So if you want to help the body, you have the mind. Tell the mind, I have to help the body now. Can you help me? If you want to help the mind, tell the body that you need to exercise, you need to go out and do some action. We need to engage ourselves so that the mind also kind of settles down with respect to to its thoughts. Can you help me? So make it a team. And these are the affirmations that you can use in order to build this concept of team between you, mind, and body. So the first priority for the team is to be there with the bodily reactions resulting from emotions. The 90-second rule: body first, mind next. Body first, mind next. So the next time you're going through an emotional experience, the teacher is saying your child is not doing well. I'm telling my mind, probably it's okay even if I don't listen to the teacher. Body first, mind next. Body first, mind next. Body first, mind next. And you just need 90 seconds to settle down, and you will listen to the teacher properly. You can come back, sit with your child, ask him how he wants to work on the feedback. How can I be of help to you? I'm a team. I'm a team within. I'm a team outside. I'm a team within my mind and body. I'm a team with my child and spouse to work on the problem. What a beauty. All the body needs is 90 seconds. Let's time ourselves and give it to the body. So when time comes, please tell the mind, this is a little line that I have written, not right now. So when the thought is coming, you're noting, right? So I have put it in a line so that it is a reminder. Not right now, few minutes later. So I'm telling the thought, don't not the thought and emotion. I don't want to do it. I will address you later, right? So you can actually use these different affirmations that we have brought to you. And please remember, this is your standard line that you have to use, and there is a star there. Only when you both are healthy, I would be healthy too. So I'm talking to the mind and body on an everyday basis. So if I'm a person who have the habit of exercising every day, some person or some emotion triggered me and I stopped going for my little walk, or I stopped hitting the gym, I need to tell myself, Only when you're both healthy, I am healthy. So can we please go to the gym? Can you both help me to step into the gym back again? Negotiate. Take the body and the mind into the gym. Start exercising. Action. Analysis, paralysis by thought. The chain is broken. Action is the only thing that breaks. No therapist, no psychologist can help you when there is no action. You need action. When you have action, you don't need us, guys. It's as simple as that. Keep this in mind. All right, can we move on? We have brought together certain concepts of journaling because most of the time the therapy journaling, like the literal writing down, sounds very, very boring for few of the clients. So we've come up with this concept of touch and feel journal. So bring back something that you see in your environment. Supposing if you're a homemaker, bring back the pulses, bring back the carrots, the vegetables, the peels of your vegetables, whatever you use on a daily basis, put them, stick them, touch and feel them, because this is your life. You've been doing it for years together so beautifully. You've been packing lunches for your spouses and your family members so beautifully. You've been maintaining a house so well. So bring out everything into your journal, touch and feel, sit with it. What a beauty. Your emotions will settle down and your mood is uplifted. So touch and feel is always about uplifting your mood. You can also have quotes which inspire you. You can also have your favorite food. We've put the picture of pizza that was available for us. We put it. So if you enjoy some food, like for me, biryani is my favorite. You can have a picture of biryani also, because it reminds you that, oh, I haven't had biryani in a while in that favorite restaurant. You're back to life again. You will go back. Again, you'll feel better. So these things are needed. It brings humor back. And for most of the clients, most of the times we forget humor. We have so serious discussions in therapy. No, bring back the humor. Humor is needed, right? Memories. Also, memories. We've given those little pockets and little letters there. It's a very creative way. My artists, they make it so creative. I'm not so creative, but always remember this, guys. Putting it so pleasantly also is important. So give yourself different memories. Like, for example, if you ask me, the first time I have become mother only for once, like I have a single child. So the first time I held my baby, I quickly gave my baby away to my mom. I was so scared. I was like, otherwise I'm a very tomboy kind of a girl. So I was like, no, Amma, I don't think I can handle. I have a fear that, I might break something in that little chap. Please take away. And it took me some time to handle, at least a month or so. And now I can handle any baby with a pro because I have handled my child. So for you to become a pro, you'll take time. So pick up all the challenges that you have overcome, the little things that you have learned, and put them in your memory pockets. You can also show your timeline, like 5 years back, how was I? 10 years back, how was I? Definitely, you'll see a lot of change. So memories journaling is another kind of journaling. The next one. Inspirational. It's very important to have few inspirational things handy. Who are the people who inspire you? You need to have pictures of them. You need to have what you admire about them. What about them inspires you? What you have learned from them. Like I have pictures of my teachers, and I'm still in touch with them. And I really love, they kind of take time and watch every program of mine even today. And I get a message after every program. And I take a picture and I kind of put it at my study desk or work desk, because that motivates me, because I've made them proud. What else do I need in life? I've made my teachers proud, and they time and again say for the kind of life that I'm living. Inspirational for me. So when I feel low, I also have low moments. I am a psychologist, but I'm a human being too. So whenever I have my low moments, I instantly go into the inspirational moments. I see my teachers there. I see my parents there. I see my friends there. I see my clients also, because I learn a lot from my clients, right? So the kind of feedback that they give or their stories. So see what inspires you. You can have inspirational movies. You can have inspirational books. You can have inspirational people. Bring them all together. You will feel uplifted. And you can also have inspirations from your own self. Like, how have you inspired yourself? For me, for someone who was a very shy and a self-doubting kind of a girl when I was 18, at 40, to be so confident, to be able to handle so many challenges, I'm like, wow. So I need that time and again, so that I don't settle down. I continue to grow, yet I don't forget the journey back. So bring all together in the inspirational journal, bring everything that uplifts your mood, that brings you back on track. You can also have a travel journal, because sometimes when we go to places, we learn a lot from their culture, how things, how they keep things very simple. We learn a lot through experiences. I think I'll quickly close with this. Teja, when Teja, me and Viveka were working on one of these sessions, Teja has happened to go to Leh, and she said, like, Gayatri, we were complaining about the pain in the cheeks because it's a very chilled place, right? But the people, the kids, the small kids also, the cheeks were all red, but they were happy playing and they're enjoying. There's no complaint. Such a simple life. They have no movies. Their hero is only Dalai Lama. So many learnings. So whenever you go to a place, whenever you travel, you learn a lot. Record them. You will understand that life is simple for you. Life is simple for someone else also, right? So think about it. See what journal helps you. It's important to explore these kind of journals. If you want to learn more about it, reach out to Roshni Art team. We are there to help you out. Reach out to us. Can we move on? Yes, my favorites, I spoke about it. Like, bring up your favorites, biryani, your favorite movie, your favorite pastime, hobby, anything. And emotions, I think I'll just quickly spend 2 minutes here. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Use either a notebook or a computer. I would preferably say a notebook and a pen. I gave the logic, but these days we're all techies. If you want to use a computer, up to you. But write down all the emotional experiences from the past week, month, or year randomly. Make it a habit, because you will understand yourself more. You will process your emotions better. Don't worry about making it perfect or readable. Go where your mind takes you. So there is no particular timeline. I can pick up from anywhere and everywhere. At the end, you don't have to save the document. The point is that those thoughts are now out of you and on the page. All right. I think we'll go to the last video, and we are done with the session. Yes, let's play this video. So come back to the program, do watch it again and again. You'll have multiple insights, and ensure that you only have these kind of people around you. That's when you will stay mentally healthy. Anybody judging you frequently, you need to stay away from them. They're already judging themselves. Hence, they have normalized judging you too. Stay away. Sit with yourself, work on yourself. That's the only way to address your thoughts and emotions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste. This is Srivani. I'll be continuing the session. We'll have a question and answer session soon. Before that, please take 30 seconds to answer a poll for us. The purpose of this poll is to help us understand you a little better, so we can better curate the topics that we bring to you. You can also let us know in the chat box how you found out about WishwaTalks. If you are a WishwaTalks subscriber, heard about it through friends or family, or found out about the event on social media, please let us know. If you are happy with this session, and if you want physical sessions in Hyderabad, if you would like to participate, please let us know, because if we get a group of 50 to 100 people, we would like to conduct. If you have an organization, your corporate wants to have these kind of workshops, please let us know. While you take the survey, I would like to express my gratitude to everybody who has joined us today. Thank you so much. Today, there were 125 people only on the Zoom. I'm not sure how many are there on YouTube and other platforms. I would like to express my gratitude to Ms. Gayatri Uppalapatti and Ms. Viveka and Ms. Teja Kishore for taking time to grace this event, for their generosity. Not many people would come on a show like this to give free service. For their creativity and courage to do a workshop online. I mean, that needs a lot of work on the back end. It's not easy. And a lot of rehearsals. And not only a lot of rehearsals, she's made the entire WishwaTalks team participate with her, do this workshop physically. She's been spending money out of her own pocket to make this happen. Big thank you to you and your team, Gayatri, and to the Roshni Trust team. Fabulous. I have very few people that I know who are serving like this. A special thanks to Sashi Reddy and I just lost the name.
Shanti, ma'am.
Shanti. Yeah. Special thanks to her too. At her age to do this kind of service.
Absolutely.
I will quickly just announce the upcoming talks and move on to the question answers.
Yeah.
The upcoming talks, because the World Suicide Prevention Day is coming up, we have our speaker, Ms. D. R. Swarna from Roshni Trust coming, and she's going to talk on the topic From Pain to Progress, Emotional Support in Tough Times. This is on 9 September, 11 a.m. Then we have the next talk by Ms. Sarada Lingaraju from Sparsh Hospice. The topic is palliative care, enhancing quality of life through compassionate support. Prashant, would you like to say a little bit about palliative care?
Yes, ma'am. So, palliative care is a process where they take care of terminally ill patients and make sure that their journey towards the end of the life is smooth and sort of painless. Sponge Hospice has dedicated its time to not just taking care of the patients who are suffering from illnesses like cancer, but they are also taking care of the family of the patient while treating the patient, mentally counseling them and taking care of their mental well-being while they're dealing with so much pain. And Sarda Lingaraju ma'am is she's a psychologist as well, and she's the hospice administrator at the moment, and she's going to enlighten us about palliative care in the upcoming session.
Yeah. So thanks to the Vishwa team also. I know, Prashant, you're not feeling well today, and yet you've hosted the program. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. I'd like to take questions now. From Tasneem Shahid, would like to know about if you have any workshop for children, pre-teens. Such workshops will help them enter teens in a better way. Gayatri ma'am, would you like to answer that?
Yes. First of all, for children, yes, we work with a wide range of population. Yes, it works. But for children, they would benefit if it is an offline session. Engaging them would be very easy for us. And the takeaways also would be huge. So an offline session, yes, we are based out of Hyderabad at Roshni Counseling Center. So I think if you can reach us out there, we can plan something for children. Definitely, yes.
Also, WishwaTalks is doing camps and workshops in schools. So if any school comes forward and registered, we are doing workshops with them. So if you know any school which is interested, please let us know. You have a lot of feedback. I'm missing a lot. I'm just going to read you from Ms. Yashmi Sharma Arora and Parminder Jain. An amazing and knowledgeable session. Learned so much. A heartfelt gratitude for this session, ma'am. And thank you every time. Lot of takeaways from Palivela Santoshi. Thank you for organizing the event. Glad to get a part in this. There's a lot more from a lot more people. I'm not going to get into all that now. It's getting late.
Can we have any few questions answered? Probably one or two.
Please
There are,
raise your
because my chat
questions.
box is stuck.
Please raise your hand. We can, because the chat box is too full.
Yes.
Okay, one from Miss Parvinder Jain. Even if we untangle our emotions, still it leaves some mark on us. How to deal with it?
Excellent. I'm quickly answering this question. Did you ever see an ECG report? The heart line goes up and down, right? Similarly, the brain report, the EEG, electroencephalogram, that's also wavy. So how can our life be a straight line? We are dead. Is it straight line? So no matter how much of tangling that we do, the traces are still there. If we are feeling emotional, it means we are human. We are still able to feel. It's just that we need to be alive and we need to keep others alive. So we need to work on it. So it's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong process. Thank you.
Tasneem Shahid, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Parminder Jain ji, do you want to answer anything? Please unmute yourself. Yeah. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute. Please unmute yourself.
I got my answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have to thank you. You are repeatedly attending our sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah. Tasneem ji, please unmute yourself. Okay. Okay.
Hello? Yes. Now it is fine. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you like to come on video?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have, I wanted to ask you first, I asked about the courses. Is there any courses, online course that we can do to understand these emotions and whatever the workshop was about?
Excellent. I think you've given me a new idea. I haven't explored this yet, but definitely probably I can plan an online course too, given my kind of expertise. But as of now, no. You can leave your details in the chat box. And I think I will reach back to you personally when I get into that mode. I haven't explored it as of now.
Okay, very good. Now, one more thing. Can you give reference some books that we can read on this topic? So, because I have a daughter and I am facing a little difficulty dealing with her. So whatever you have said, if she had heard all that, it would have definitely made a lot of difference. But she's at school right now, so I couldn't make her sit with me.
I'm going to give you a twin suggestion, like one for you and one for her as well. 13 things that mentally strong people don't do by Amy Morin, and 13 things that mentally strong parents don't do. That's for you. By Amy Morin again. Yeah, it's a twin read. Do it together.
You just give me a minute. I'll just write 13 things that are.
I'm putting it in the chat box also.
Okay, thank you. That would be wonderful. Yeah, that would be wonderful. I'm really thankful. Your session was just wonderful. It's kind of opened up certain circuits up here. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much.
Sudhir ji, please ask your question.
Namaskar to everyone. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, actually, all the family members wanted to join, but some of them are in office. So is it possible to have a recording, or if there's a YouTube link you can share, that will be of help? Or in case similar...
I shared it in the chat too.
Later
shared
on.
it in the chat right away. You can
Evening
find the
session.
YouTube link in the chat.
Prashant, hold, please. Yeah. Yes. Please continue.
Hello.
Sudhir ji, continue.
Yeah, what I was requesting, in case this session is going to be repeated in near future, kindly keep in the evening slot so that people who are working can join and benefit? Or if it is possible to share recording with us, our other family members can go through it.
Yes. So right now the videos are already online on Facebook and YouTube. The link Trishant has just put in the chat box. And also what happens is after a couple of weeks, we give an edited version. The reason is YouTube video may not be very easy to understand because slides may be part of it. There might be a lot of things are edited and it can be cleaner after 2 weeks. You can use both, whatever is convenient. We've done more than 100 talks at Wishwa. You can go to YouTube and watch them anytime. And some of them are really very supportive.
Fine. All right, ma'am. So kind of you.
Yeah.
Sir, I've also shared, Sir, I've also shared the YouTube link in your direct message on Zoom, so you can directly access.
I will check it, sir. So kind of.
Yes, thank you.
Gratitude, sir.
Really appreciate your entire family wanted to join.
So, yes, we'll do that. Thank
Mr.
you.
Joel, would you like to unmute yourself first?
Yeah, I hear. Okay, very interesting presentation, and I want to ask how detailing thoughts and emotions approach can support in different traumatic situations or the situations of wars, terrorist attacks, and global pandemics like COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Ma'am, do you want us to read that question? He's also written it.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. He asked, he was there last time also in the last session too.
And he's from Israel.
Oh, okay. I answered his question last time also. I would want his question to be read to me. It will be easier for me.
How detangling thoughts and emotions approach can support tackling with different traumatic situations, such as terrorist attacks and global pandemics alike, like the COVID-19.
Okay, that's a beautiful question. It made me think. I think the first step is it all starts from self. You know, in today's society, we have become increasingly disconnected with ourselves and disconnected with others too. We are just living. We don't know what's happening around. We are not concerned. And a lot of us are bystanders, which means we are just observing things just happen and passing by. So given this kind of a context, it is important that we stay connected with ourselves first. So detangling your thoughts and emotions will first help you to stay connected to your true self and also express your true self. Because once you start working on your thoughts and emotions, you exactly know what you want from each situation. And that's the clarity that is needed. Once we have that clarity, we talk to others, we negotiate with others, we repeatedly negotiate until we get what we want without becoming reactive. And when we are in a happy space, we will allow other people to be. So is it not a bonding between two humans when they are sorted and they are happy? The bonding grows, right? And that's how we are all one family. I think India as a culture has always had this, like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It talks about one family. I think that is where we are heading once we form connections with ourselves. So stay connected with yourself, be true to yourself, express yourself authentically as much as possible, and stay connected with people, allow them to be their vulnerable self, and we all become one family. So it is not just me, my son, my husband. I think those boundaries will be erased and we become one family. So anybody can walk into my home, anybody can stay there, stay with me. So it's all one family. That's how it helps. It's a long picture. It's a big picture.
Hello, sir. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hello,
Garima.
ma'am. I just had to pinch. Garima. I just- Yeah, ma'am. Please go ahead and ask.
I just this is the first time I'm attending a session with your platform. So I was wondering if there's any continuation of similar kind of session where we can practice, remind ourselves, and learn this lifelong process. Because what we have learned and understood today is something that we agree on the spot, but we keep on forgetting once we go ahead. So I think a reminder or taking it to a next level or making it into a practice, if there is any kind of series of similar sessions that you're doing, I would love to know about it so that I can learn and practice it for myself.
Okay. Garima, to inform, we have done back to back about 3 workshops. This is the 3rd one online. We've done one on emotional self-care. We've done one on goals and vision board. And today it is on detangling thoughts and emotions. So I think you can start with today's session. Repeated listening kind of helps you gain multiple insights. And you can actually practice what was told in today's session. That's the starting step. You can also visit our work, which is already done on similar concepts, and learn from that too. And you can also leave in the chat box what are the different kind of self-help sessions that you're looking for, either emotions, thoughts, or sometimes it's just about overall personality development or the thinking process. So you can just leave in the chat box what all you're looking for, or reach out to Vishwa, and I think you can leave the sessions that you're expecting. Why not? We'll definitely work on it. It's a feedback, so definitely we're going to come back.
Great. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Ma'am, do subscribe so that it's easier for us to reach out to you.
So this is the first time I got about this platform, so I'll definitely go to your page and look into it and lessons. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I'm just going to bring you. Just give me a moment. Sridhar.
Yeah, hello, Gayatri ma'am. This is Sridhar here. Can you hear me?
Yes, Sridhar, very clearly audible.
Okay, ma'am. So actually, I'm at my child's school. Actually, I'm in the parent-teachers meet, but sorry for the bad video or whatever. But madam, the thing is, the basic question that I have is, you as a counselor or Trishant or Shivani ma'am, right? How do you guys handle emotion? Okay. Do you get into these kind of circumstances like about the 90-second rule or all these things? Have you faced it? Because the question why am I asking is at some point during this call, I've seen some emotions coming out to you as well. I mean, a little bit, Dishant was a little upset because, someone was not sharing the video properly. And, Shivani ma'am was getting a little, uh, upset as well because, it was not getting questions or not asked properly, or it was not getting ended properly. So how do you actually handle it? Because, I'm not telling that you should walk the line, but I'm just so curious because, how do you guys do it? Are you following it, or it is only written in the book somewhere that people follow? That's my question.
Thank you so much for the wonderful questions, Sridhar. I think that's why time and again I say that I'm a human being apart from being a psychologist, because psychology is actually our profession. So we have learned it. We kind of learned it as a theory. But when it comes to our own self, it needs to be practiced. So when we actually are trained in psychology, the first thing that they make us do is, anything that they make us do on ourselves, any test before doing on the client, we have to do it on ourselves. So the whole concept is do it on yourself first and then probably do it on someone else. Now, having said that, till date, I have my anxiety moments. I have my self-doubt moments. I think I answered it in the session also. Like, instantly when you asked me how much time is it going to extend, I quickly said 5 minutes. And then Shivani ma'am actually helped me. She said, take your time. It's okay. Let's ask. I took it. So we do have our own anxious moments. I still have them. And if you have actually spoken about the emotional expressions that get shown on our faces too. So that's the answer. I'm authentic. I don't mask them. If I'm anxious, I'm anxious. If something is getting stuck in the presentation, you see the expression, but the mind is thinking like, how can I handle this situation? The time is ticking away. I need to give the content. So what do I do? So it's all things together. So yes, I do have my anxious moments. I do have my emotional moments. We are human beings first. I am a human being first. The profession comes later. So yes, I do have all emotions. I do have them with all intensity. But where psychology helps for me is I have to understand myself, right? Only then I can help someone else understand themselves. So I do get triggered, but I do kind of settle down and work on myself. Like, for example, I'll give you a simple example. There should be a lot of preparation behind a session like this. It is very challenging to bring something like this on an online platform. And when I was talking about Roshni Art Team, a lot of people from my own fraternity, they felt, Gayatri, you can't call it art therapy. You're not qualified to be an art therapist. Neither is your art team qualified to be an art therapist. So how are you going to do these sessions? That was a challenge last year, but today I'm making it happen. I had my anxious moments, so I dropped the therapy out of it. I said, let's call ourselves an art team. Our concept is different. They're different from art therapy. Why not introduce it to our audience? Because the whole purpose is how can we present the whole concept of self in a better way? That's the objective. We don't have to call ourselves art therapists. If we are not qualified, don't do anything which is not authentic. Do something which is authentic. So we dropped all our fears. We are here today in front of you. If we were stuck there with all the feedback as to how can you do this, this is unethical, I think we wouldn't be doing sessions like this. So we do have our moments of fear. We do have moments of our self-doubt. We do have our own anxiety. We work through them. We have to. And the same technique that we are giving you is the same technique that we apply on ourselves.
Yeah.
That's my question. You answered it. Yeah.
Sridhar, I'd like to answer your question too. For me, I've been numb to my emotions for many years. It's only 15 years ago when I've done my landmark course that I got present to that I was numb to my emotions. It was a journey for me to differentiate that thoughts, feelings, and emotions are different. Even today, sometimes I need to listen to music to actually recognize my emotions. Sometimes I run through the Pinterest quotes to recognize my emotions. So I do explore and I do a lot of journaling. I've been doing journaling right from when I was in college. But this session with Gayatri ma'am, it gave me more clarity and more ideas. I was doing memories journal. I was doing the regular journal where I write and delete it. And many of the things that she was suggested, I was already doing, but I didn't have a name for it. But there were many that she suggested that I'm now going to do. Do we have emotions? Yes, we do have emotions. Do we react? Yes, we do react. We're human. So don't expect us not to react. Don't expect us to be God just because we're sitting here. So yeah, but our reason, I'll tell you something. I was talking to my daughter's kid's maid, the nurse, and she was telling me about the slums, the issues in the slums, and how people exploit emotions. You and me are educated. We're sitting on this platform and talking about emotions and thoughts and feelings. Who's doing it in the slums? There are 150 slums in Hyderabad. How much percentage of our population is the working population? Who's helping them be aware of these things? This session from Vishwa or from Gayatri ma'am or from Roshni Trust is not about you and me. It's about spreading awareness. These topics, imagine a number of people who are sitting in hospitals which are actually related, which are being caused by their anxiety. Yeah, if there's any further question, yes, you can answer. If this hasn't answered your question.
So I got the overall picture of what you wanted to convey, ma'am. But yes, I do agree. We have to go one step beyond from what we are doing, apart from attending these sessions. that's understood. But I also understood in a broader picture that you all also go through some deep emotions, which you follow in terms of your own techniques to curb it. That's absolutely understandable. I just wanted to know this, and then when I hear it from the horse's mouth, I'm okay. I'm okay now. I'm in a good state.
Okay. Thank you. Any further questions?
No, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Yeah. Ms. Neena Kurkun, please.
I actually wanted to talk about the same topic, with the slums, what we had talked, now just spoken about. Yeah, there are many villages we have adopted in our organization. So I was thinking that if we can do something for the children of slums, because no one is there to help them. We go for a few programs, just like we teach them, make them chant some Mahabharata shlokas, Ramayana shlokas. We teach them bhajans. We teach them many things like different games. I wanted to know that if there are practical games like how today was there, small games. I think we can do a very big picture for them. Is it will be practical also, and they'll understand it easy. Because we also need that, and even the children who have no support from anywhere. It is we who are going to go to them and give them such whatever the practical work their madams have done today. 3 of them, they were very excellent. Actually, even we were not knowing that much. And we also learned from them so many things, new things. It was a very good idea of that coke and that emotions and thoughts together. Excellent aspects. I want that there should be some syllabus, small syllabuses and practicals. Yeah.
You can teach them to journal.
Yeah, right. And it should be so simple that no more languages, only by practical like pictures. Because languages, they don't listen to us. They don't have that much patience. So when we show them in pictures or we show them in some figures, they learn it more properly and they grasp it also. And I feel that slum area is the best area to teach because they don't get anywhere, anything. We can even do it in schools, but that will be a long process. So thank you. I just wanted to ask.
So, ma'am, your way of making things to understand is very nice and thankful. So, Harita, so many takeaways, writing down a journal, which I know, but won't practice, will start this habit from today.
Wonderful. On board.
From Miss Pooja Tanna, I'm glad I attended the session today. I have to leave now, unfortunately. I won't be able to attend the Q&A. Thank you for Vishwa team for hosting such an amazing session. Glad I could attend it. Usually I'm not available on weekends and miss this nice session. Okay, from another participant, there was so much pain and suffering around COVID-19 period that to protect myself, I tried to avoid the news, try to stay aloof, how to balance between empathetic and a genuine concerned citizen versus balancing our own emotions.
I would just say that I think just from your question, you will need help of a mental health professional, to sort things out, because it's not just, there are a lot of things underlying from your question or, question to me. So please do reach out for that. Before you reach out, the second thing, always remember, whenever there is uncertainty, there would be a lot of emotional turmoil that will come automatically. But in life, when we learn to deal with uncertainty and discomfort and process pain, I think that's when we grow. It is a fact, but we need to process them. Only then we would grow. Thank you.
From Metonia, just wanted to know, is there any specific things? So just one thing I wanted to add to the last question. There is a beautiful WishwaTalks by Roshni Trust by Dr. Srilata and another psychologist from Bangalore. Please go through it. This was specifically to address grief in COVID times.
Dr. Sri Lakshmi.
Dr. Sri Lakshmi, is it? Not Sri. Okay.
Dr. Sri Lakshmi.
Yeah, please go through it. It's an amazing talk.
Session.
Yeah. Okay, from Ms. Metonia, just wanted to know, is there any specific things to be considered for specific generalized anxiety or OCD journal?
Okay, for OCD quick technique, there is always an insecurity or a self-doubt because of which your compulsions and obsessions will start. Supposing if I think I'm inadequate or I'm negligent as a person, if I think I'm a very negligent and an irresponsible person, I will do things like checking myself repeatedly if I'm doing the right thing, if I'm answering things correctly, if I'm putting things in the right way. So that's where it starts. So you need to actually make it in a pictorial form to understand what is the basic insecurity which is triggering my obsessions and compulsions. That will help you. Only pictorial form will help people with obsessions because these are people with extreme logic. So you need a logic to break it.
One question from Ms. Urfi Prasad. Think how detangling thoughts and emotions approach can support tackling with different traumatic situations as terror. I think we've already answered that.
We've answered this. Yes.
We've answered this. I may have missed some questions because there were too many comments, but if anybody feels that they have not been answered, please raise your questions, your hands, so that it can be covered. Ma'am, how do we bring about your work to the slums? Because especially these people take advantage of emotions. Like, for example, I was talking just now, I spoke to a lady in the morning and she was saying her mother earns 40,000 and she doesn't save a single rupee because her son will come and ask, I want an iPhone, or somebody will ask something else. But she doesn't keep aside a single rupee for her own age-old or emergencies or her husband's medical issues. So one of the child is getting burdened with it. So she was asking me, how do I get through to my mother that her emotions are being used or exploited, because of which it is becoming a burden on the other family members. How do we ensure these kind of things can be brought to the underprivileged?
I think it is a very challenging task because they don't understand this concept of emotions being used or the manipulation part. So we have to, even make more simplified format of conversations. So we have to have structured conversations. Like even before we go to the slum, we need to have certain problems and overall idea of what are the issues these women or men face. And we need to build structured conversation, like as to how we would address them, what we would talk to them, what exact words we need to use, and the language. Probably that's when we will be able to tackle these challenges. That's the only way, structured conversation, and then listen to them, let them open up, and then introduce your structured conversation, let them think, then only action flows in. I think we need to discuss more on this. Probably off the session, we need to come together, discuss this and implement.
Yeah. From Yash Rupani, so writing down will help us to address the situation and then half the battle is done. Am I understanding it correct?
Absolutely. In fact, sometimes writing down over a period of time makes you it's like complete battle is won. That's what happens to me because I'll give you a quick example here. Earlier, I was a very anxious and still am, and a thorough perfectionist. So, if something like this happens in between the session, like something is stuck there or something is not right, I think earlier I would get very, very anxious and it would show all over and probably I would miss out on my content. But over a period of time, before every session, I kind of bring back my journal. I kind of write what all things trigger me and how I can handle myself. And I kind of tell myself that every impossibility comes with a possibility and you're working with humans and not robots. So these are two things which I constantly tell myself, So mistakes are bound to happen. We are all humans. That's when you will accept yourself and you'll accept others also. So it worked on me. So what journaling does is over a period of time, your insecurities become very clear to yourself and you'll become more open to talk talk about it, So sometimes I make fun, like even when I was working with Vivek and Teja last night, I was telling them, because I was making them work even till today morning on my presentation, I was still changing. And I had this beautiful example. I'm saying, you know what, Martin Luther King on his speech, the I Have a Dream speech, he was working on it even till the last moment. He cut off few sentences just before he was speaking. So I am also like that. I'll make you work till the end. Please don't mind. Okay, that is how I am. Now I kind of have fun. I express myself. I say that this is how I am. Even with my son, I tell myself, like, my instant reaction when you fall is going to be like this only, So get used to it. So you become very comfortable with yourself, and that's when the authenticity builds. You accept, you make fun around your mistakes, and it becomes very easy for you to kind of accept yourself. That's what journaling does to you.
I wanted to share with you, see, general day-to-day occurrences and all, I journal and all. But when I go through a very traumatic experience, what I've done is I've gone for Vipassana, and that really healed me. Those thoughts don't repeat after that, after the session I took. Do you think that also works?
Absolutely. See, sometimes multiple healing helps. The traumatic experiences that we have, either from childhood or in the midlife crisis, wherever it is, sometimes it requires deep reflection, deep understanding. And it is, when we are calling it trauma, it is not always because of us. There's always others involved. And it is about me coming to terms with it, me making peace with it, me forgiving myself, forgiving others comes much later. I will not talk about it, but me forgiving myself and moving on, because we get stuck, right? So yes, traumatic experiences require additional forms of healing, and traumatic experiences need therapy too. Like the moment there is trauma, I think you need to sit with a mental health professional to figure out your thoughts, your patterns of thinking, and you need to identify your patterns. Once you break your patterns, it helps. And also things like Vipassana and meditation and other things also will help, provided, each of it has their own way of healing. So if you believe in it, stick to it, because most of the times people don't stick to one faith. Like, they do therapy shopping, or they do counselor shopping, and they want to go to different techniques or use different techniques. I would say stick to one. Only then you will know the difference. Do it consistently, do it faithfully, like, believe in it, and it works for you.
Okay. One question from Ms. Asha. Some people know to let go, but for those who can't let go, it is tough. Letting go is not that easy. So true, no one can help except us. Self-talk or journalism is best. Okay, she's just made a statement.
Yes, absolutely. And let me tell you, letting go is not easy for anybody initially. It's a journey, it's a path. But the moment we learn, I think it's so very liberating. It has to be experienced. It can't be told. If letting go is difficult, sit under a tree, see the leaves which are falling on an everyday basis. For us, the birth and death is already fixed. We can't control it. What we have in between is choices. So what are we actually controlling? The main two events are fixed. Let go. So sit under a tree, watch nature, letting go becomes easier.
Okay. There's one question. I was triggered. This is a question 3. I must have missed the top 2. I was triggered by a person in the office 4 days back. I asked him politely to talk softly as I was on a call and couldn't move since laptop was charging. His response was, "Get lost, you bloody woman." I was pissed at him and responded and gave him back. He went ahead and behaved crazily. I shared this event with a fellow friend, colleague, and her question was, but what must be the reason for his strong reaction? I had the same question and disturbed for 2 days, not sure what to do in such a situation where you are clueless as to where is this coming from.
Okay, the first answer to this question is, whenever people say things which are very rude, we take it very personally. Of course, we will take it personally. But here you need to tell yourself, when somebody is saying rude things to you, it talks about them, not about you, because what you were asking for was a genuine request, right? It's a genuine help which needs to be addressed. But that person didn't have it within him to give it to you at that point of time. So it defines him, not you. The second, respect, sometimes we expect from people. It is very important to understand if that person has it within them to give you that respect. That's the second question that you need to ask yourself. The third, whenever somebody is using words, labeling you, saying things, I think always look into the eye, don't react, look into the eye and ask them, are you okay? Just ask them this. This makes a whole lot of difference. You know why? Because a person who's saying things like that at a drop of a hat is getting triggered so easily and saying things which are so mean. In a workplace scenario where a decorum is important and he's saying woman, he's bringing the gender into the context, you need to look into the eye and ask him, are you okay? Because you're telling him your behavior is not okay. And you're very clearly telling him that he needs to work on himself and that there is an issue with him, right? That makes him realize that he's actually judging himself. He's actually being rude to himself. So he will often be rude to others also, because that's how it gets normalized in his head, that it's okay to say things like that. So look into the eye, ask him if you're okay, because that's when he comes into the senses and he understands that what I did is not okay.
Okay. This is from Sridhar again, isn't 90 seconds of holding an emotion too long? In few seconds, an outburst may happen and the damage is done.
In few seconds, outburst doesn't happen. This is again your own thought that an outburst might happen and 90 seconds is too long. How can 90 seconds be too long when people are here holding on emotions for days together? See, when you get anxious and if it is spreading into days, that means I haven't worked in the first 90 seconds itself. That's why it's spreading, right? Like my thought is active, my mind is active. It is reigniting and refueling my bodily experience. So if you think 90 seconds is too long, then you're already a person who's allowing your mind to trigger you again and again. You will be anxious. So you need to understand that the first 90 seconds, when you stay with your body and allow your body and your feelings to settle down, which is your nervous system, basically settles down, all the physical reactions to settle down, your thought can be dealt with later. So 90 seconds is definitely too long. It is not definitely too long. It is actually a path-breaking research, something where I had goosebumps. I'm like, what a research. What can I don't know, how can I present it to my clients? So it's actually 90 seconds is too less for me, too less of an ask. So we should be giving body that time.
This is a question from Ms. Urfi Prasad. What subtle expression would you use for not able to let go?
I think for not able to let go, not letting go itself is a very subtle expression. But if you still want to make it even more subtle, I'm not able to forget something. I am getting stuck. I am rethinking. I'm ruminating, which is, I'm again going on and on in my thoughts. Why am I going back to the past, or why am I going back to that person? So these are the subtle ways of talking to yourself when you're not able to let go. For not able to let go, I think you need to understand why are you getting stuck in your thought process.
Suffering from a severe depression need help.
Yes, suffering from severe depression needs help, but I would always say the labels like depression, the word depression, I take back my word, not label. The word like depression has to be given to you by your doctors, your psychiatrists, your psychologists. These are the people who need to tell you if you're really going through depression or not, because these days there's so much of data available on Insta. Everybody is talking about mental health. Do we really know if they're qualified to talk about mental health? That's a sad state that we are living in. So I would say refrain from using the words like depression. Please reach out to mental health professionals, let them do an evaluation and let them tell you if it is really depression or not. That's when you can use the word. Otherwise, it will become just another word that we are dropping on ourselves. Like the way others say you're lazy, you don't move around, you don't do anything. Now I'm saying I'm depressed also. So it's important that we actually get it prescribed by a doctor. The doctor needs to do a proper diagnosis.
Yeah. So I've asked as many as I could find. I don't know if I've missed any, but so it's a very pertinent subject, and it's very daring of you to actually do a workshop on it. Thank you so much. Okay, one more.
Sure.
One more last question. How to differentiate between the emotions with our closed ones? I mean, how to make our closed ones understand where I stand? Will my mind trigger when they avoid me? How do I tackle it? Will it get tackled? How? Yeah.
I think beautiful question. When we are actually dealing with people who are very close to our heart, where we are emotionally invested, like our spouses, children, etc., we get triggered very quickly because we have this need that they should understand us. So that's the basic place where you need to start working from, which means sometimes it's okay if they don't understand. In all situations, they don't have to understand. It is for me to understand what I'm going through. It is for me to understand how I can present it clearly without becoming reactive. Because with emotionally connected people, what we instantly do is we get triggered very quickly. If they don't understand, we get triggered. If they don't, sometimes without saying anything, also we want them to understand, right? So we get triggered very quickly. So especially with people who are close to your heart, I think you should take a step back, observe yourself when you're talking to them, the tone, the choice of words, the context in which you're trying to make them understand you. Rework on it if it is not reaching out to them. Ask them, like, how can I reach out to you in a better way? Because what I want to say is not reaching out to you. Can you help me make myself understand, make myself better understand you? They will only help you. So take feedback. Keep it as open and as simple as possible. Don't make it personal. It's not always about you. Sometimes it's, okay, I got the right answer. I have to quickly say this. Yes. Instead of focusing on who's right and who's wrong, because mostly in emotionally invested relationship, we focus on who's right and who's wrong. Focus on what is right for the relationship. Then it works out. They'll be able to understand you better and you'll be able to understand them better. So that should be the thought changing question for you. Instead of who's right and who's wrong, focus on what is right for the relationship, any relationship.
Okay, with this, thank you so much. Wonderful session. Very helpful to a lot of people.
Thank you.
Thank you and your team.
Yes. Vivek and Teja, back on screen, please.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Y'all are doing a fab job. I wouldn't even think about doing a workshop like this. I wouldn't even dare do it, and y'all are making it happen online. And it's amazing. I mean, words don't describe the kind of work y'all are doing and the impact y'all are making.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you to whole Wishwa team as well.
Thanks to the whole Wishwa team. Great job. Too good.
Thank you.
Lastly, I'd like to request the viewers to please take a moment to subscribe to WishwaTalks to get alerts on every new and exciting talk, exclusive events, and access to the Wishwa community. I request you to follow Roshni Counseling Center on Instagram as well and keep updated with the upcoming events. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn for future update. Do not forget to subscribe to WishwaTalks, please. Thank you. See you next week on the 9th.